Here.
Mr. DeSarno?
Here.
Mrs. Jeffrey?
Here.
Mayor Morgan?
Here.
Ms. Munoz?
Present.
Mrs. McKnight?
Here.
Mrs. Belisca?
Present.
Okay. Salute the
Don't
flag.
forget, Nora.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is a public meeting of the Borough Council, Borough of New Providence, County of Union, State of New Jersey. Adequate notice has been given in accordance with PL 1975, Chapter 231. Annual notice or revision was made in conformance with Section 13 of the Act. Excuse me. We have public hearings on the community block grants for year 49, and we need to prioritize the request. The two they both deal with the senior center. The first one we always do, that's for the health fair and transportation needs and other programs. And the second one is for drainage for the center. So I think the way they're listed is pretty much 1 and 2 is what I think we should do. Anybody disagree?
No, that's good.
No?
Looks
Okay.
good.
At this time, we have hearings from the public. Anybody have any comments? Seeing no one, I declare the public hearing closed. Okay, I need approval of minutes for November 14th, please.
So moved?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye. So be it. Okay, we have correspondence, Gloria Yen for the Board of Adjustment, County of Union, Human Services, about Union County's Code Blue Emergency Shelter Initiative, New Providence Fire Department Junior Membership, Cooper Nelson, New Providence Fire Department Officer Elections, which will be next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. And we're all invited if you want to go. It'll be, they told me no officers are going to be changing this year, so it should be pretty quick. And Rebecca Caniglio about neighborhood concerns. I think I should address this to the council. This has been going on for 2 years maybe. And she's had different concerns with her neighbors. I have personally sent the police department over, the fire department over there, the Board of Health. I know the police have been there a number of times. Bernadette, I know you've had the Board of Health over there. We've had Keith over there, and they have found no violations. And if there are some violations, like idling trucks, the police have gone there, and the truck hasn't been idling at the time. So they can't give a ticket unless they see it happening. I think you can't be idling more than 3 minutes, I believe. The other thing is, Bernadette, myself, and Chief Henn met with the Caniglios, and we explained everything to them, and they understood, and I thought they understood, but now this letter comes. One thing that I offered, and I know Bernadette and the chief, in fact, Chief Gasaway, offered was mediation. You know, there's a lot of people in town that have problems with their neighbors, and they want to solve them, and you offer mediation. It's a good way to you know, control people's concerns. They have rejected that more than once. So at this point, I may feel for them, but there's legally nothing we can do. And, you know, that's all I can say about the matter, quite honestly. If there was a way we could help them, I'd be more than willing to do it, but, you know, there isn't. I mean, you've read the letter, it's public record, that people gather in their yards and talk in the afternoon, things like that. It's not illegal. I mean, they both live on a corner lot, so their side yard is their backyard too. I live on a corner, I get it. So, they park their cars in the street and they have a hard time backing out. I live up on the end of Livingston Avenue. There's always cars, especially during sleigh riding time. It just is what it is. So as much as we feel for them, we've done everything we can to try to, remediate the situation. But, it's two neighbors that just don't get along. And, I don't know who's at fault. It's probably a little of both. Who knows? But, there's nothing legally that we can do. And I think you've even got involved in this, Paul, right? And I think you agree with my assessment?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
We've gone above and beyond as far as I can tell.
Right.
There's just nothing, some of her complaints are just, there's just nothing you can do about it.
Right. As much as you'd like to, you can't.
Yeah.
So, okay, any questions?
No, thank you for that update, appreciate it.
Sure, no problem. Okay, let's go to Council Business Administration. Diane.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2022-277 is a resolution accepting a grant from the Hazardous Discharge Site for Remediation Fund Public Entity Program through the New Jersey Economic Development Authority and the Department of Environmental Protection. Basically, this resolution is for the application and award of an New Jersey DEP grant for $40,703, which is associated with site remediation at the Ping Wang site. The work has already been completed, and the borough has been working with Colliers Engineering to complete the grant documents in order to receive the money. So we've already expended the money, we're just looking to get it back, and Colliers is helping us.
Okay. Community Activities, Pete.
Resolution 2022-278 is a salary resolution. This resolution is associated with hiring basketball coaches. Is that, Brenda, is that the program that's the real young children in the gym over here?
Special needs.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. That's and this resolution hires, what is it? It looks like 4 individuals
Yep.
for that program.
Great, thank you. Finance, Matt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution 2022-279 is a resolution authorizing payment of the attached bills payable list in the amount of $3,930,652.39. Some of these significant items include our Union County fourth quarter county purpose and open space tax of $3.398040, our New Providence Library December payment of $85,585, also Strikes Sales Corp., our power loader for stretchers into the ambulance. Wish they were limousines, right? $55,069, and Rapid Pump, 2 new force main pumps for water department, $40,875. Resolution 2022-280 is a resolution providing for the insertion of any special items of revenue in the 2022 budget pursuant of NJS 40A 4-87, Chapter 159, PL 1948, National Opioid Settlement 2022 additional. So this is a additional settlement monies in the amount of $2,714.60. This is payment 1 of 18 annual installments. This is on top of the $2,595 that we've already received in our opioid settlement. We are looking at ways to be able to utilize those funds, right? So we're looking for guidance on how we can spend them and where we can spend them. And we're very grateful for those funds to be able to put to work. Hopefully educating our youth and our citizens about the dangers of opioids.
The size of that settlement is determined by the population in the community, correct? Okay. Number of people. Yeah. Thank you.
Resolution 2022-281 and 282 are resolutions providing for the insertion of any special items of revenue in the 2022 budget pursuant of NJS 40A 4-87, Chapter 159, PL 1948, Safe Routes to School. One is for the 2016 preliminary engineering and design, the other for 2018. So what this is we have received additional revenue in order to cover the cost of the design and engineering costs of our Safe Routes to School for our 2016 and our 2018 plans. So this is actually very good news. For 2016, we received $183,491.76, and for 2018, it is $214,832.78. Any questions on that?
Nope.
Resolution 2022-283 is a resolution authorizing a cancellation of taxes receivable. This grants Vito Gallo 100% disabled veteran status and refunds overpayments of partial 2022 taxes in the amount of $8,256.99, and it cancels the 2023 Q1 and 2 taxes in the amount of $7,041.59, as well as all future installments.
Well, you're on a roll, so you might as well do engineering and construction.
Thank you. 284 is a resolution approving shared service agreement for wastewater operations and maintenance between the Borough of New Providence and the City of Summit. We actually had a resolution a few weeks back, I think it was last meeting, that we passed. This actually is amending that resolution and includes a 2% increase over some previous items for work week services and weekend pump station inspection services. Resolution 285 is a resolution authorizing the provision of a loan pursuant to the Borough of New Providence Affordability Assistance Program for the purchaser of an affordable housing unit. So this here is our Affordable Assistance Program is providing a loan, a zero-interest loan for the purchase of one of our affordable housing units in town.
Okay, we have public safety, a couple of raffle licenses, 2 for the MPHS, PTSA, 1176 and 1177, and another 2 for Community Service Association, 1178 and 1179. Both, all the applications have been properly prepared and reviewed. Resolution 286 is a requisition for elite emergency lights for $14,075 and 74 cents, and this is under the state contract. What this is for upfitting the lights for the new police cars. You know, and I had this discussion with Dan today, you know, the companies, well, these are Explorers, which we've been using for years. You think the insides would stay the same, so the equipment would fit year after year? No. So the 2 new cars need new equipment, and it's a shame you can't just, you know, put the old equipment into the new cars. It used to be like that, but you know, things change.
So these are the 2 new cars that we received as a result of 2 losses during the Ida storm.
Right.
So these weren't purchases that were intended to be made. They were as a result of them being lost in the flood.
Right. Okay. Public Works, Lisa.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2022-287 is a resolution advancing Michael Keenan to Step G in the Public Works Department of the Borough of New Providence. And so this is an advancement for Michael in accordance with the Teamsters contract. Resolution 2022-288 is a resolution approving the requisition number R2202127 for Rapid Pump and Meter Service Company in an amount not to exceed $6,240, Bergen County Co-op contract number 21-13 for the wastewater treatment pump installation. This is approving the purchase of an expansion joint. So I feel like when we go over these public work resolutions, we see Rapid Pump and Meter Service a lot. So they are a company that we do use for parts and pieces for our wastewater treatment plant. So last week, or last council meeting, I did go over some of the short-term and long-term goals of the wastewater treatment plant. And so this resolution, along with some of the next ones, are just coincide with that, and that Anthony Carnaval is putting some of that capital budget money that's set aside for the plant, and he's putting that to work, upgrading and improving the plant. So that's part of this. So also Resolution 2022-289 is a resolution accepting the proposal of Collier's Engineering and Design for professional engineering services regarding the 2022 sanitary sewer lining project. So this is an approval to accept the proposal by the engineering firm. What they're going to be doing is they're going to be lining and restoring the sanitary sewer mains, and what happens over time is that they develop cracks, the pipes become disjointed, there's root intrusion, along with other things. I think the manhole covers start to leak, and what happens is it allows extra groundwater and rainwater to go in, and it just inundates our systems. So this will help with that. Resolution 2022-290 is a resolution approving the requisition for Rapid Pump and Meter Service Company in an amount not to exceed $118,120, Bergen County Co-op Contract number 21-13 for wastewater treatment mechanical bar screen. So this is actually a really important piece of equipment for the wastewater treatment plant. They have been waiting, I think, for this piece for a long time. Anthony Carnaval and this company actually designed it to fit specifically into our plant, so it wasn't an off-the-shelf type of item. And what the use for this bar screen is that let me just backtrack a little bit. Before the installation of this new bar screen, Anthony sort of retrofitted himself a piece of equipment to catch all the debris that comes into that catch basin. Things like rags and diapers and things that are not supposed to be flushed down the toilet, or just, sent into the sewer system. And it was a manual process. Every couple hours, Anthony or one of the men down there would have to go in and clean it out. And that was round the clock, 24/7. That necessitated a lot of extra manpower and overtime because someone had to go in every single night and clean this.
I think at 11 p.m.
At 11 p.m. every night, one of those employees had to be at the plant to scrape and clean this screen. So this new piece of equipment will, negate that. So that is a huge improvement. So I'm sure they're happy about that
Actually,
one.
Lisa, I have a question. So
Yeah.
when I read it, somebody's in there constantly around the clock, and it's like a 5-gallon thing that they empty every single solitary time. A lot of it kind of seems like it's preventable or something that maybe we can, it seems like an education issue.
Yeah.
So maybe, I know we talked about posting stuff, but maybe we can try to explore other ways to educate people around what they can and cannot flush and should not flush. Because it seems like a lot of this we can improve just by our habits and processes as residents.
Yeah.
So maybe we can think about, because I know you guys were going to post something, but maybe we can come up with other ideas to educate
One
people.
of the biggest culprits in the wastewater treatment plant is flushable pipes that are
Wipes are
truly
bad.
not flushable. Even though they say it on the package, they are not flushable, they are not biodegradable. They get stuck in the mechanisms at the wastewater treatment plant, which is why Tony actually created this bar screen himself to kind of keep it out of the pumps. Prior to him installing that, they actually were dismantling pumps almost once a week to try and get them unclogged and unstuck. So this has been, even though the overtime is there, it's well worth the money.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I think it's a good idea, actually. As someone who's had their home backed up twice on wipes from my children.
Were you that? Was that you flushing wipes?
And one of them was on New Year's Day, so it was not a very great
How'd
New
that
Year's
work out
start
for
for
you?
me. Not too good. But, yeah, no,
So, yeah.
maybe a little something up on the website. you
Yeah.
know,
We'll
what
be
you can and
posting
can't- Like we do with
something.
recycling, something like
Yes,
that,
yep.
right?
I think we spoke about it at the
Do's and
last council meeting, it's avoid the drain pane. So we'll be posting what not to flush down the toilet, or to pour down your drain, so.
And pouring down the drain too,
Yeah.
that's like cooking oil and stuff.
Yes.
We try to make a very conscious effort to dispose of oil properly. That one is not as known.
One thing that I've seen over the years, and I'm sure you have too, Rob, where they do that in citriform, which is, they put a balloon in the pipe, and then they shoot liquid, it's poly whatever, and it lines the pipe, then they pull the balloon out. The thing is, when you have roots in there and you're throwing flushing these things down there, they get caught up on the roots. And then you have clogs before it even gets to the plant. So guys are out there all the time, with the cameras and doing their rotor thing.
Right, which is why we want to line those pipes
Right.
too, so that there is no.
It's extremely expensive. We've really done a lot of work over the years since 2000, and but there's still a lot more to do. I've always said the infrastructure here is very old, so we just gotta keep up with it and do a little each year. Okay.
I have one more, hold on.
Yep.
Resolution 2022-291 is a resolution authorizing agreement between the Borough of New Providence and the County of Union regarding Conservation Center leaf for disposal. The borough has a memorandum of agreement with the county that allows the borough to bring leaves to the county conservation center. Union County recently contracted with Vollers to run the county conservation center. So this agreement between the county and Vollers does not change the memorandum of agreement that's in place currently between us and the county. That's it.
Okay, discussion items?
I actually have something. This is just asking each of the council liaisons. So as this year's ending, and we're looking into 2023, we want to go back and talk to all of our committees about how this year went, and try to have them start putting together goals for next year. And then also, they should check through their membership to see who still wants to be on the committees. We usually do that at the reorg meeting in January, but we're going to push that back, give the committees a little extra time to ensure the people that are on their committee want to stay on the committee, and that the council members each get an opportunity to talk to their committees. So between now and the beginning of January, if everybody can talk to their committees, namely around the council advisory committees, that would be great. And then we can come back and go from there.
That works.
Good idea.
Okay.
I just had one quick item on the timing of the agendas. I just want to know if, I know you guys are always waiting on stuff in order to get them done. Is it possible, and I don't know if this is a legal thing, like are we allowed to have them, or say preliminarily? Like,
I would not recommend putting an agenda out that is not final.
it's like if you were waiting on one item, let's say, right, and you think it's going to come in Thursday or Friday, could we have a copy of the preliminary agenda, say Thursday, and then when that item comes in, it comes in? I'm just asking, again, I'm not trying to put any more work on you guys. I don't know how
So in
much of us.
years past, there have been times where things have been added to the agenda, which then in turn, you may have read it on Thursday and put it away and never
Right,
see
right.
it again. And then Lisa is picking it up on Monday and looking at it for the first time, so she has all the information. So things have fallen through the crack that way, which is why we have traditionally held the agenda for you until we have it complete. If you want it in that form, we can do it that way for you. But again, I think it's a process thing, so
Okay.
you would have to decide that amongst yourselves if that's what you really want
Well,
to
if
say.
you're waiting for one thing, you can always call Bernadette and say, listen, what's the status of this? So you can find out.
Yeah, no, I know, it was a couple years ago, we talked about we're putting out a preliminary agenda and then working on it, throughout the week or whatever. Because we know these 5 items are definitely going to be there. So we just put those 5 out there. you know? The only reason I'm bringing it up is I think, like, today I had some questions that were late. I wasn't able to get to them till late today, but I probably could have got to them earlier last week or later last week, right? So that's all, just thinking through it, whether or not it's worth it.
I feel that putting it out piecemeal, you're more apt to miss things.
But if you know there's 5 items there, like, those 5 items are on there, so if there's engineering stuff, those things are happening, you can start reviewing and doing your homework on it, right? Finance, maybe some things are waiting on, so we might not want to put that out.
What I will say, Matt, is that we don't hold the agenda unless we know that we're actually getting the information. So, usually when we're waiting on something, it's because it's from an outside source that, they haven't provided it to us, but they have guaranteed us that it is coming. So we wouldn't hold the agenda just because we think something might be coming. So like, again, it's up to you guys if you want it piecemeal. We'll give it to you however you want.
Yeah.
I think
more
it's
conversation
a
on that.
slippery slope, though.
Yeah, just to dovetail off what Matt was saying, I do like the idea of getting it early, subject to a possible addition, if that doesn't cause too much work on your behalf. The other thing is that, for me at least, and maybe others feel the same way, Thursday to me is should be really a drop dead and get it on a Thursday, and I'll tell you why. By getting it on a Thursday, it provides the opportunity to kind of quickly go through it and then surface questions on a Friday, so that going into the weekend, you have kind of your ducks in order, and you could then review everything with all your questions being answered. Getting it on a Friday evening, to me, kind of creates a little bit it jams you a bit, because what happens is over the weekend, if you have questions, you're generally not surfacing them until Monday, and then you have the meeting, you got to quickly turn around to Tuesday. So if that could be accommodated, that would be wonderful.
I defer to you, Wendy.
So
You
didn't
have
we
the
used to-
agenda.
So what will happen is the only thing for the next agenda will be what I have by Monday, so that I can put the agenda together so that it goes to the administrator on Thursday to be published on Thursday. So you're cutting your time frame on items going on the agenda.
A lot more work goes into putting the agenda together than I think you guys realize, and all of those attachments and all of the resolutions and all of the stuff that Paul has to review. So things may not be as timely as they are now.
So is Thursday a good expectation, or you're saying yes or no?
I'm saying to do Thursday and guarantee a Thursday,
Yeah.
you're cutting the time, the lead time. You have to, now we're pushing it back from Wednesday. It's got to be probably Monday afternoon or Tuesday to give
Okay.
me enough time to put it together to link it.
Okay, so what is the target then that we're shooting for? Just so I can.
Well, I'm saying if you want it by Thursday, we're going to have to tell department heads.
The target is always Thursday.
Okay, that's
The
right.
target is always
Okay,
Thursday.
so the target is Thursday.
It's always
Good.
Thursday.
Good.
yeah.
Okay.
So I thought we pushed the meetings back to Tuesday so that we
Right.
would have that extra Monday
Correct.
to review the
So you
agenda.
have
Exactly.
Monday to ask questions, correct?
Because you did bring it up before, and everybody was in agreement. You rushed over the weekend. That's why
Yeah.
we moved the meetings to Tuesday. So you have a whole extra day. So,
Yeah, no, and listen, I'm sure Matt's bringing this up for the same reason that I'm also, we're all trying to do our job and to do our due diligence, obviously, and have time to do that, so, good.
okay.
And I'm sorry, I left off one important thing on mine. So in addition to the goals, we're really looking also for a very comprehensive calendar. That's the part I left off, that's very important. So if every committee by January can also say when they're planning on having their meetings, and if and when they're planning on having their events. We're trying to lock into like a very solid 2023 calendar, and not by January, like the middle of January.
And what we will say, if you have a committee that has an event planned for January, it should be on the next agenda.
Yes. So those are two things, goals and calendar. We'd like to lock those in.
Now, there are certain things that may come up.
Certain things may come up, but if we can get as solid of a calendar as we can, that would be even better.
Okay.
That's it for me.
Okay, we go to committee reports. Had a meeting with Dan today. They're working on the finalization of the traffic report for the year to give everybody an update. They're going to give us the final report for next council meeting for council to review. And then in January, what we're going to do is invite the public in, and they're going to give a presentation. It'll be a separate meeting from the council meeting like we did the last time. We're not going to break it up into quadrants like we did. That was only the first time. It's going to be the whole town, what they've done, what changes that they see they have to make, and what's coming up in the next year, in the next few years. There will be no chat with the mayor this month. I just have too much going on, and I'm tied up every single night, so we'll resume it in January. Want to bring up, across the street, they're having a cookie walk. Anybody wishing to bake cookies, bring it to them on Friday the 9th between 5 and 9, and the cookie walk, which is always a big hit, is the next day on Saturday, the 10th, from 11 to 3 at 357 Elkwood Avenue, which is across the street. And the menorah lighting will be on the 20th, and we have a council meeting. The menorah lighting is at 7 o'clock, so it conflicts with our council meeting. So we're going to change our council meeting to 8 o'clock so we can go and then come back here. Okay. Thank God the bridge is here. And kids are walking over it, and it hasn't collapsed. It looks great, better than the Golden Gate. And, it took a long time, but, it's finally here. And I want to thank a lot of people. When I was growing up here, we had a lot of events. Not a lot, but 3 major ones. Wendy, we grew up here. You had Memorial Day Parade, you had the Independence Day, and we had the Christmas Walk. That was the 3 things we had. Now we do a lot of different things, okay? And one of them is we have the tree lighting, the Night of 1,000 Stars. But it always seems that it's the same people and the same local businesses, same organizations that help us create these things. So I just want to give a thank you for the Diversity Committee for hosting, but the Community Activities Department and Allison Smith did a tremendous job. Our DPW, they helped. Community Service Association, the Link New Jersey, the New Providence Lions, the Prestige Diner, who always gives out, this year, 6 big, what do they call them? Canisters. There's a special name for them, of hot chocolate.
Correct.
And it was correct. And it was gone in what, an hour?
It was good though. It was good hot chocolate.
We had the William Packard Club gave out popcorn. Al Elefante and Elefante Music, they're always doing everything. Incredible. Director Pamela Van Nostrum, she and the New Providence High School Select Choir did a great job, and Emma and Susan Peterson. And I want to thank our first responders. They're always there at every event we have. The fire department, rescue squad, police, and all the donors and contributors. And you know what? I want to thank the administration because you coordinate a lot of this stuff. And I want to thank the Borough Council because you know what? And I said it that night. If it wasn't for you, the council's support in doing all these activities, they wouldn't happen. And I don't want people to take it for granted because, there's so many things we do in this town that others look at us and say, wow, look at what they're doing. We get like the veteran banners, the pumpkin carving, the scarecrows. The list goes on and on. They see us do it. They see, everybody's doing it. So I just want to say thank you to all of them and, and all of you for doing what you do. It's Thanksgiving. We should be thankful for the blessings we have. And this is one blessed town. And, and we're blessed to have the citizens we do here. So, once again, thank you. And I'm off my high horse here. So, I think that's all I have. Matt.
You're on fire tonight. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, finance, I missed the finance, that was one of our last meetings, something personal came up last minute. So, I think we still have an update on that, hopefully tonight. I attended the recreation, I guess, had a little meeting for the recreation master plan, so they had invited the public to come out and give their ideas and thoughts on our rec master plan, and, sitting in the back, and I was thinking, this is what makes New Providence such a special place, right? I expected about 4 or 5 people in the room, and I don't know, 40? 40 plus people?
Room was full.
And everyone came to not listen, but to talk, right? And they were throwing out everything, right? And I'm just sitting there thinking, these are the things that make places like New Providence great, right? We listen to the residents. We can't do everything that everybody wants to do, of course, right? But we know their concerns, we know their wishes, and we can put them on our lists and think about them in the future, right? And some of the things that were heavily talked about in that meeting, obviously, I probably don't even have to tell you, right? But pickleball was one of them, right? Right out of the gate, a lot of people looking for pickleball. Hopefully, and I know Allison's been working diligently on trying to solve that, and maybe we will one day, I don't know. But, our planners just putting together this recreation master plan, so I look forward to seeing what they come up with and what the public input and how that gets incorporated. That was pretty cool to witness. On our cricket pitch, I just want to say we should have something for us to review and approve next meeting. I know we got a bid was a little out of the range of what we were looking for. We got another bid that came in the range, so we're looking for, I think, another bid that's outstanding at this point in time. But I will say that if all goes well, we should have that on our next agenda for everybody to review and approve. Planning board meeting, I missed the meeting. However, the planning board meeting, we heard GHNP Central, which is the BD property.
Right.
So we had approved that previously, and they actually had to come back and revise their plans because the DEP delineation required them to shrink the footprint of the overall buildings. They did not change the number of total units, still 192 units there, but they actually reduced the number of 3 bedrooms. So that's actually a good thing for...
And 2 bedrooms.
And 2 bedrooms.
To 1.
Right.
So, yeah, it was a good thing.
Yeah. I think that was it for me.
Okay, thanks, Pete.
Okay, Mayor. Capital Projects Committee, or Capital Committee, has a meeting on the 16th. We're going to be going over an enhanced analysis that's being worked on that I think will benefit us in the future. So I think that's excited about that. Community activities. The other thing I would mention is the gazebo by Veterans Park. I drove by there the other day. Base, it's the foundation we keep, but the other structure is now down, and we're waiting for the new one to come in. So just as a reminder, that comes from the Kids Rec Trust Fund grant. Finally, sustainability team, a couple things. The last meeting was on the 30th. During that meeting, the team worked very hard and has been working to assemble, exactly as per your request, the goals and events for the next year. So that's something I believe the team is really looking to get in front of council for the next our next meeting, so that just to give you all a heads up that's coming, and they're working hard, there's a lot of different things that they want to do, the team. And then finally, just another thing to be proud of, we mentioned a bunch of those things tonight. The sustainability team was awarded the bronze level certification. We've achieved that level before, and once again, we've achieved it. That's really something everyone should be proud of. Special thanks to Doug Sullivan leading the sustainability team and his efforts, as well as all the efforts of the borough employees that helped to make that possible. And there's pretty lengthy filing, I believe, right, where you have to kind of detail all the things that are done by the community to achieve that status. Things like our community garden would count towards that, and our green fair we recently had, and our high efficiency utilities, lighting, are the way we recycle. So all those go into it, and as a community, I think everyone should take some pride in that. So congratulations.
Great. Nadine?
Thank you, Mayor. Business and Professional Association, while we're giving some thank yous, one of our other traditions we have here is the holiday walk. And the holiday walk was the day after Thanksgiving, and I went down with my husband and my grandson, and we had an amazing time. So I want to thank the Business and Professional Association, again, the first responders for coming out, for escorting Santa off of the roof of Investors Bank. It was outstanding. Thank you to the marching band for escorting Santa through the streets on the back of it wasn't the fire truck this year, he was on the sled. I think it's sled number 1, I think that's a special name. So that was a great time. And the New Providence Presbyterian Church, they added an outdoor light show this year that was spectacular as well. So again, everybody in the borough coming together, along with the Business Professional Association, made for a really, really outstanding night. And something to watch out for as well, Santa is back in town this upcoming Sunday, December 11th. I know him. And he will be escorted through the town by our fire department again. So I think the way they did it last time on social media, you can see what neighborhoods he's on and where he's coming. So keep tuned to the fire department Facebook page to see where Santa is on the route on Sunday, December 11th. And he will drive past every house on all the streets. You can see the routes out there, so you can come out and wave to Santa as he goes by. We're looking forward to it, and it's supposed to be nice weather. So.
Can I just add, so one of my favorite pictures, family pictures, is my son on my shoulders when Santa came on the roof of the bank, right? When he was 2, maybe 3. And we have a perfect picture, and his eyes are popping out of his head, right? Like, such joy. It was awesome. And it's literally one of the coolest things. And my daughter came back from college. She's a junior in college, and she comes home for Thanksgiving, and she cannot wait to go downtown and walk around and see Santa and go to the church and see the animals, and it's really a tradition that's grown on our children. It's awesome.
It's truly magical, and it's been around, how long, Wendy? As long as I can remember.
Let's not say the years.
I think they started that in 1969 or something like that. 73?
I don't remember that.
I don't know. I missed it this
Pretty
year. Unfortunately, I got sick, so it's the first one I've missed, and I can't remember how long. So, okay. Rob?
So this borough is always looking for ways to improve public safety. So at the League of Municipalities Convention a year ago, I ran into our rep from Johnson Communications. They do all the security cameras for the borough and all of our security locks and such. But in talking to George at the time, he offered us a free, emergency call button beacon for us to try out and see if we liked it, with the idea that hopefully we'd buy some more if we really did like it. So talking to him again this year, he said, it's up, we just installed it. So it's now up and running, and it's active by the community pool, by the walking path. So it's there. If someone presses a button and they need help, they'll be connected to the shared dispatch immediately, and they'll have a police officer out there right away. So it's up, so we just go out and check it out.
It's the blue light?
Yeah, it's a blue light.
Like they have
Like
on college
on
Yeah,
campuses.
right.
It's a blue light.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I saw that, that's cool.
Lisa?
Okay, let's see what we got here. Library Board. Library's always busy, so they are always wanting to improve their library card holders, so to speak, and they're folks that come in and take advantage of the programs and go to the concerts and take their kids into the children's library and do some of the crafts. They're fully open. They have a ton of different activities going on. The Friends of the Library have a packed schedule of different concerts that are going to be coming in. So really encourage everyone to visit your library again. It's a great place. They do wonderful things and great programming. Go get your library card and get over there. We're also in the process of looking for Lisa, our director's replacement, who will be retiring at the end of the month. So we've been interviewing for that position. Mental health and advocacy and education. We did meet, or did we not? I feel like we're always meeting with them. We met, and they do have a whole slate of different activities looking forward. So for December, they are looking to post some articles on holiday stress and how to manage those, holiday expectations and demands. So we'll be looking out for those.
Eggnog.
I'm sorry?
Eggnog.
Eggnog works wonders, yes.
Actually, I don't like eggnog.
Finance Committee, we did meet, and it was more of an introductory type of meeting to kind of get the finance season rolling. So it was Bernadette, Al, and Jim, and I. Just going over some of the preliminary numbers and the expectations and putting a calendar to move forward and get that all done for the budget season. One of the things that we did touch on were some of the differentials from last year and what we're looking at as far as costs. And I know that we've been saying it all year long, that, costs this year have just increased tremendously. What we're looking at is, higher costs for health insurance and pensions and higher costs for recycling. We spoke about that. So those are some of the things that are going to be a challenge for us this year, but,
I think what we had to make the public aware of, is one of our biggest expenses is health insurance.
Yeah.
The municipalities are getting hit with a 22.8% increase. Not only municipalities, but the counties. State employees are only getting a 3% increase. Now, I don't know how you can possibly justify that. Everybody should, it's the same pension, everybody should be paying the same. So it should be like 10. It shouldn't be 22. Everybody should be paying about 10. And I know the New Jersey League of Municipalities and the New Jersey Conference of Mayors are fighting to get Governor Murphy to change his mind and equalize it. It's just not right. And I always say, people have good intentions, but they never realize, it all filters down to the municipalities, to the Board of Educations, and to private industry. And something like this is just blatantly unfair. And yeah, the state may save a little money on their state budget with this, but the local municipalities, your property taxes are going to go up. And they think, oh, it's no big deal because health benefit costs are outside of the cap restrictions. You still have to pay it, folks. We still have to pay it. And it's blatantly wrong, and I hope we can get this thing changed. I know a lot of people are working hard on it, so that's all I have to say about that.
it's a challenge.
Yeah,
It's a big challenge. All right, so I have one more thing. Al, you were talking about traditions, and I think another great tradition is the Scouting for Food. that happens every Saturday before Thanksgiving. So this was the first time that it was back in its original form since pre-pandemic, yeah. So not back 100% as we saw in 2019, but still very successful. We had a total of 84 volunteers there, so it was a great synergy between the Boy Scouts and Faith Lutheran and Community Service Association and residents from town that showed up to help. It was really amazing. We packed a total of 402 boxes of food, and if you equated that to a dollar value, it's about $32,700 worth of food was collected. 40% of that went to New Providence residents. All right, so that's significant, and that's an increase from prior years. So we're seeing a greater need for help right here in town. The rest of those boxes went to Plainfield, which is a food pantry called Starfish. But we also did a really good job of stocking up Link and stocking up OLP Food Pantry. So anybody that does have needs in town, please, visit one of those two food pantries. They are well stocked right now. We donated 25 turkeys. Half of those were donated by Matt. Thank you very much. 27 pies that were made by the foods class at the high school were distributed. So, all in all, very successful, and again, just demonstrates the generosity and the big heart that this community and these residents have. It's really an amazing feat that day. Like, it's just incredible. So, thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Seen enough of them lately.
Quite a production to see. This is my first year inside the church, and just to see that production was just amazing.
Okay, Diane,
Status quo. I don't really have anything to say.
here's the thing. Bernadette,
Two things for me. One, I just want to remind everybody that our recycling corridor is changing in January. If you have the opportunity, please download the Recycle Coach app. This way you will, know what is recyclable, but more importantly, what day is going to be your new day. The calendar has gone to print, so if anybody's asking about the borough calendar, it's at the printer. It will hit the mailboxes shortly after it gets back from the printer, so it should be out in time for the new year. And the last piece that I have is that the police department is finalizing its last piece of accreditation. Our police department is this will be the 6th time that our police department is accredited by the state of New Jersey. We're one of only, I believe, 2 municipalities that have that longstanding designation. On Tuesday, December 13th, the examiner board is asking for employee and/or resident input. If you would like to call into the hotline, which is 908-665-1116 on Tuesday, December 13th, between 10 and 11. You can give comments to the assessors on the NJSA COP standards. So it is an opportunity for you to address things that are happening as it relates to the standards that they're being accredited for. It's something that our police department is very proud of, and as a community, we are also very proud of.
Will that borough calendar that's being mailed out, will it have the updated dates
Yes.
for the recycling? Okay.
Yep.
You always know who, when I walk my dog, nope, they don't have Recycle Coach.
They don't just look at your house?
I just say,
The app is great. It does send you reminders, even,
I love
it is very specific to your house, so your side of the borough regarding garbage and any other things that are picked up throughout the year, so it really is an invaluable tool. I recommend it to everyone.
oh, one thing I do want to, leaf vacuuming ends this week on the east side. Now, they will be picking up bags, paper bags or containers on the 12th. That's next Monday. After that,
It's yours
No
until
more.
spring.
yeah, what is it, April?
Yes.
April
March,
1st or
something like
whatever.
that.
So everybody be mindful of that. And I think mostly everything's down now, you know, so,
Thank God we didn't get any snow.
Oh.
It's still worse when it snows and those things are sitting. on the
it's
street.
happened,
Yeah.
it's happened, so.
But DPW's done a great, they came by Woodbine Circle today, and I was walking the dog this morning, and it was a nice, clean street. It was nice. They did a great job.
Yeah. Okay. Why don't we have public comments? Anybody wishing to address council, give their name and address? Seeing no one, I declare the public hearing closed. Let's go to formal action. Need a motion for action. Need a motion for items 1 through 17,
So moved.
please.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Knitzky?
Aye.
Mr. DeSarno?
Aye.
Mrs. Joffre?
Yes.
Mr. Munoz?
Yes.
Mrs. McKnight?
Yes.
Mrs. Belisca?
Aye.
Okay, I know we don't have, our next meeting is the 20th, and I know Hanukkah starts before the 20th, I think Sunday on the 18th, right?
Yes.
So we want to wish our Jewish friends a happy Hanukkah, and just a great time of year, holiday season. So, let's, yes.
If we could just mention also that the next meeting is going to start at 8 PM as opposed to 7:30.
Yeah, I thought I did with the menorah lighting, but, yeah, it will be 8 o'clock on the 20th. So, at this, I declare the
Motion to
motion for adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No, so be it. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you.